Welcome, Dr. Franklin. Hello to fellow panelists and those who are listening in the chat session. I wanted to be a little short. I was actually going to say that you should cut it down. The answers is too long, but you said it. I don't have to say that. I was going to say because I admonished the previous guest. So in all fairness, I want to remain like that. So what I'm going to say is I want to ask you, are you a pacifist? Are there times that war is justified?
Okay, is that your question?
Yeah, that's before I then ask my request. I want to know what your stance is. Are you a pacifist or are you against war at any cost, basically? Are you,
no, war. What is a war? War is the celebration of savagery. This is when human beings drop reason and then go to fight, to kill.
Okay, so you're a pacifist.
I'm not finished. No. Hey, no. I am too intelligent to be pigeonholed. So don't tell me no.
No, it's not. I'm not trying to measure intelligence. I'm on your side.
I am not finished. You asked me a question. Give me the room to answer. I didn't say I'm a pacifist. I am building my case. I said I defined war for you the way I see it. Okay, but I'm not finished. I didn't end there. The next arm of your question is there a case or a situation where war is justified? Yes, there is a case, and that's in self-defense.
Okay, thank you very much. I by the way, I'm not hostile. You're gonna get some friendly fire from me though, because here's why I'm saying that in our country, Nigeria, it's been incessant. The complaints, interminable. Our fathers were complaining, right? But we know now what the problem is. I'm not allowed to talk about what the problem is when I come on a platform like this, such as this one, because of course it's who wants to go talking about Islamic terrorism, right? It's not sexy. It's not, religion should not be touched.
Who said that, my brother? You can touch any issue you want to touch.
Okay, I really do appreciate that. If you would guard me, if Rudolph come after me, I want you to say no. I asked him to touch everything. So let's go then. So what you mentioned, Manuel Noriega earlier. You mentioned the Malabo Protocol. So those are keywords that I want to just, with the brief time I have, touch on it. Right now, for example, in the Malabo Protocol. There is no African courts of justice that establish already human rights. None of those things are in place. So even if Nigeria is a signatory to those things, that's the kind of problem we're having. The people who are going to be in leadership, not necessarily who is the president, those who pick those leaders, right? You could see that the situation prior to Buhari and after Buhari and this Tinubu right now, it's the same condition that we have in the country, right? Tinubu is the greatest benefactor of Buhari stuff. So what we have in Nigeria and in some African countries, most African countries, is Sunni Islamic terrorism. That's what we have. It manifests itself in ways because Nigerians don't fight. So maybe they take over the courts, they take over the assembly, right? Take over the police. If you look at if you plot a graph from when, say, 2015, we go from even arguing about having a president, a vice president of Muslim, Christian background, to now, it's not even, that's gone. The courts are gone. The chief of army staff is gone. So we're actually in a country where the speaker is Muslim, Sunni Muslim. The president is Sunni Muslim. The vice president is Sunni Muslim, right? All three branches are supposed to be adversarial. So we're actually wasting your time. If you go and make Nigeria more powerful, better, you are giving arsenal to the enemy, right? So when you mention Noriega, that keyword, it tells you Noriega, if you study it in 1990, right? He was a drug lord. His background is unknown. He does have African background and Spanish background. He's a drug pusher. They brought him here. They arrested him and brought him here in the United States and tried him. And then France also got him when he was released from here. He went to France to serve some time, and then he eventually died in prison in Panama, where they released him. So what I'm saying to you is that we're captured. There is nothing to talk about. The solution to Nigeria's problem is war. I don't see what you see. War to me, it's been given a bad rap for kids. Right. Let me just line. He said I could talk about it. So for people, for kids who don't know about war, you could be on the internet when there's a war. You could have girls. You have better girls when you were a soldier, right? So it's not the bad rap that's given to war. There are things that are worse than war. We lose more people in Nigeria than people who are in battle. We really do. If you look at the provocations, right? We're in a country where somebody's going to drive a van, go to one of our secondary schools. I'll give you an example, like Chibok girls. That's just a popular one. There are a lot more since then. You pack your van and you take almost 300 of our girls, put them in that van, and you disappear, you're done. Right? What kind of provocation? You know, what kind of country are we in to have a gentleman like you? Let me tell you what people see, especially the wayward people in that comment section, right? There's no difference between you and Nnamdi Kanu or me. As genuine and as fair, as a patriotic Nigerian as you are, an intellectual, but the British don't have a person like you. You understand, as far as I'm concerned, you're a pure soul African, proud African that just want it to happen. But what do they see? They don't see that when you make statements that are true and there's just a little tilt to Achebe, for example. And you knock Kongi, the Kongi. And even though you gave him all the credit, say, hey, this is a great African. But he's wrong here to call our youth, whatever the hell he called them, right? If you do just one little thing like that, you're done. And this is our own brothers in the Southwest.
Okay.
Don't touch the Northerners, right? These Muslims who daily are killing our kids, they want to take over everything, but they can't govern. So you tell me, okay, if I want to be like you, if I want to be peaceful, I want to be fair, right? I want to be a patriotic Nigerian. You tell me what would it take? What would it take, right? I want you to be right now. You have to be practical. You can't be highfalutin and be nice, unstained, right? Maintain your decorum, right, which we all appreciate.
Okay. Yeah? Okay, I got you. Pansat, thank you very much. You raised a lot of issues, and the issues you raised, fortunately for me, I am walking in the front lines of the issues you raised. In 2019, I wrote an article titled Plan Colombia. Plan Colombia. Many of you don't know, the things that are happening in Nigeria and how we have been trying our little best to steer the conversation in another direction. You can search it online, Google my name, you will see a lot of other articles I've done in relation to Nigeria. My job is genocide prevention in Africa, and I know everything about the genocide that is going on in the Middle Belt. I know a lot more about Islamic terrorism in Nigeria, and I know a lot more about the kidnap of the Chibok girls than most. So I will tell you, Plan Colombia, the Americans wanted, there were some moves in the American Congress to push a lot of money into Nigeria so that the Buhari government will start fighting Islamic terrorists. Can you imagine that? The Plan Colombia was a plan that the Americans developed for Colombia, where they were fighting drug lords, and they left a lot of money and a lot of weapons, and the DEA agents were granted a carte blanche to fly across the border and do whatever they want. And it devastated Colombia for good measure. So they wanted the same for Nigeria, to fight Islamic terrorism. And it was under Buhari that the money was supposed to come. And we stood up and fought against it. We said, hell no. Buhari was the guy that Tinubu told the American ambassador in Lagos was a religious bigot. And this same religious bigot put a guy that has been fingered to be an Islamic fanatic who was involved in so many atrocities in Kaduna State. Issa Pantami to be in charge of our communications. We don't know the data he delivered to whoever. So we stood up and said, no, this Plan Colombia is a fatally flawed model for Nigeria. It's not going anywhere. And thankfully, the congressmen that were pushing it had us, and then that plan was shelved. I don't support war. I'm sorry. It's not that I'm a pacifist. There are times when one can go to fight, but war is the solution when people stop reasoning. There are a lot of things we can dialogue about Nigeria. Nigeria is not only being captured by Islamic or Sunni terrorism, as you called it. Nigeria has been captured by elitist greed. The people spoiling Nigeria come from every part of that country. They are not only Muslims. Christians are there. Yes, some Wike is not a Muslim. Okay? If you know the amount of money these guys are moving out of that country every day, you will not even believe it. So is a trans-tribal, trans-religious group. They know each other. They attend each other's parties. Ojuzo Carlo is not a Muslim. These guys know each other. So there are only two tribes in Nigeria. These elitists who want everything, and the poor people, and every other Nigerian. So no. You have, Allah will address your issues. So relax. Others will have to talk. So that's the point. It's not about Sunni, religion. We don't have to discriminate. We have Islamic terrorists. There are even Christian terrorists. There are people who are even Christian Taliban. They are even worse. They will want to stone you if you go against their tenets. We have all these people.
That is not true. That's not true.
But
that's not true. Don't say that. It's not true.
You want me to give you instances?
Yes, please.
In Northern Ireland.
I'm talking about Nigeria. We're talking about Nigeria. Even the Muslims I'm talking about is Nigeria, only Nigeria. Yeah. So please, okay. I really want to be respectful, but I just want to say something, please. And I could be done. What I'm saying to you right now, okay? Like I said, I have a lot of respect for you, right? But spare me all that moral equivalence, because that's not what we have in Nigeria. We know what we have. Ojuzo Carlo doesn't have. It's a crook, right? He doesn't have any ideology behind him. If he's a Christian there, he would partake in corruption. People like Wike, no, those are people that are being used by people who actually have the ideology. I just say plot the graph, the way we're going. Dr. Franklyne, you are a repertoire of, you have a lot of information. You're knowledgeable, right? But you're going to have to, you cannot try to be balancing things here. If you are against war, like you said, say the truth now. Okay, because we are in a state of war. We're being captured. We're being killed. We're being. You go and you look at the tips, right? Look at the tips. Even Gowon, that was their hero in that war, the genocidal war against us. Their people are going scores a day. Now you say the same thing. We had another fine gentleman from our place, an Igbo man that's involved in all this stuff. He knows where the bodies are buried, but nobody's even have respect for you. Nobody is listening to what you're talking about, because we do have a Sunni Islamic agenda to wipe us out. And Rudolph is not going to be happy about it, and his people, right? But I'm telling you, our people are getting killed, and you could be a gentleman all you want. You want to be fair, that's okay, right? But don't come here trying to create a moral equivalence. You give me the name of Christians who want to conquer.
Okay, now wait. I take umbrage. I don't take it kindly when anybody tries to dictate to me how I'm going to react to questions thrown at me. And if anybody does that, I will I will dish out a ton of dressing down on you. You better relax, my brother. That's not the way to go.
That's not necessary. Go
on. No. Listen. You have had your bait. It's now my turn to address the issues you raised. The point is, you have a lot of zeal, but a little knowledge. That's just your major problem. You are spoiling for war. You have never seen war. I could take you on a visit to South Sudan. I could take you on a visit to every country.
Let me just tell you that I was in Okigwe sector. I'm older than you. I was in the Nigerian war, okay? I was in Okigwe sector, and I'm older than you, so don't say that to me. I don't appreciate that. I've seen war. I don't want war, but if they bring the war, the wars. I said, are you a pacifist? You say you're not.
If this guy is not muted, I am going to abandon the program. This is the first time I'm saying that to you.
All right.
No, he should listen. Because it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful for him to ask a question. If he wants to debate me, you organize that for us, and then I will just put him in his place, because he has a lot of zeal but little knowledge. And these are the kind of people that want war. Once they see war, because war is not only going to affect him and his family, it's going to affect every other person. Okay, wars are not child's plays. before any people could go. The Igbos went to war from 67 to 1970. We lost 2 million souls. And where has that left us? It left it threw us so many years behind. There could have been, if I tell him a lot of things I found out, I wrote a book on Biafra. I refused to publish it. Why did I refuse to publish it? Because whenever I reread what I wrote, it breaks my heart. Because there were moves. There was a time that the war could have ended by dialogue. But the parties were already far gone. Each party was entrenched in his own idea.